The hardest thing to understand was when you grow up as a kid and love has conditions and you come to Christ and you have to really learn what unconditional love is, because it was tough for me because I always thought he had a condition, just like everybody else. All the authority figures, all, relatives, parents, everything always had a condition. If you did this, you were good. And I love you more because you did this. You did what I said. Even whether it was right or wrong, everything had a condition. So that the time that you come to Christ and he reveals himself to you, because he didn't truly reveal himself to me until I was in my 40s. And it was a session we had for inner healing. And God, before then, I went to Transformed. And the first Transformed I went to, as a young man, you have to be so many different people to everybody. You have to wear so many masks. And I didn't even know who I was, because my strength of blending in to everybody causes your downfall, because you blend into the wrong people, then you've screwed yourself. So Transformed, I was in a cabin laying face down on a bed, and I cried out to God. I said, God, tell me who I truly am, because I don't know. And as sure as I'm sitting here, I heard his voice. And he said, you are Christopher, you are my son. And that day started this literal transformation inside of me, knowing who I was. So I had that base of who I truly was. I wasn't a guy who owned a gun shop. I wasn't a father, a husband. I was God's son, and he knows my name. So when he told me that, that just changed the base for everything for me. And then during this inner healing session, Jesus revealed so much to me, and he literally freed me from it. It was a jail cell that I saw, and he was in there, and he opened the door, and we walked out, and I was free. I mean, the story is it's a little bit longer, but and I don't know if you want me to get into it, but
let's hear it. So, like, you're basically, from what I'm understanding, you feel like you're in bondage, right?
I'm in a jail cell, as what he's showing me, and he's there sitting on the bunk, and I'm just standing there. And he's telling me, listen, all the things these people are saying about you aren't true. You're not who they say you are. And I says, but I'm stuck here. And he says, no, you're not. And he shows me the door, and it's hanging wide open. So he grabbed my hand, and I'm telling you, as I'm in this, I could feel his hand in mine, and I'm like a little child. And he leads me out, and it's pitch black all around, but there's a door standing open with this orange golden glow coming through. And he leads me out to this door. And it's like this big wheat field. And there's this orange sun coming down, the golden wheat. I could feel the sun on my face, like literally. And he just looks over at me and tells me, you're free now. You're free. You're not there. You're free. And as a kid, I made a vow that I wouldn't cry at anything, and I haven't cried since I was a little kid. But that day, I was a mess. I was crying uncontrollably, and it was not pretty. And then he showed me stuff like in the past, like my father was going to drop me off at as a punishment, drop me off at an orphanage. He threw me in the car because I was getting bad grades in school, didn't want me around, and he's backing out. And I remember it only because Jesus, brought it back up. And I'm sitting here in the front seat crying. And I look back, and Jesus is in the back seat, looking out the window nonchalant. And he says, you're not going anywhere. And I says, what do you mean? I'm not going anywhere. And the car stops. He gets out. He takes me out of the car. And we're out at night looking out my front yard and at the stars. And he says, this is all for you. I made this all for you. This is all yours. You're not going anywhere. And he walked me up to my room, put me in my bed, and sat in a chair in the corner. And he says, "You can go to sleep now." He says, "You can rest now." And those two changed how I saw his love. And those were so impactful on me that when I saw those visions that he gave to me, that he brought up in this inner healing, that just melted my heart, because I still had walls up. Yeah, people are Christians and they say they're Christians and they've walked with Christ for a long time. They know his love, but everybody still has something that, some little piece, I believe, that they won't give up. And it's very rare that you have a person that surrendered their whole heart, that's just all for Jesus, because we're here on this earth, man, and somehow, some way, some of it seeps in. And to stop that leakage, that flow into our hearts, I mean, it's a tough thing, and it's definitely a Christ thing, because Jesus is the only one who can do that, who can stop that leaking. But those changed my life. And then he saved my life. God literally saved my life. Like I said, I was involved in a lot of porn as a young man. So when I, teenager, sleeping around with, girls here, girls there, got HPV. Apparently everybody's got it in their system somewhere. Whether it shows up or not is another thing. I mean, I got sick when I went to help some family members in Orlando. I got sick, and apparently it lowered my immunity to where it was causing tumors to grow on my vocal cords. So they were doing something for my throat. They discovered these tumors, and they took it out, biopsied it, and he's like, "You have an STD." And I'm like, "I do not have an STD." They explained it to me what it was. It's HPV. It's going to turn into cancer, because it always does. So I got back down here, went to an ENT. He removed it. Came back again in a very short time, more aggressively. He removed that. Third time he removed it. Says it's not looking good. It's getting worse. He removes a fourth one on my left vocal cord and says that should be it. I get the symptoms again. I have half a vocal cord on my left. It came back more aggressively on the right this time. They had to remove half the vocal cord. They got it all. But before they removed the right one, I was scheduled to go to Transformed, but I says, "You know what? I got this surgery. I'm not going to be able to make it." God works in funny ways, because I went for my pre-op stuff and they tell me, "You can't get your surgery. You got COVID." And I'm like, "I don't have COVID. I'm fine. I don't have." They're like, "You have COVID. You're going to have to reschedule." So Transforms Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They scheduled me for the following Tuesday for surgery. Went to Transformed, group of guys that I trust and know, and I know God works miraculously through, prayed for me. Didn't feel any different. Walk out with my son that evening from the service. Felt a tickle in my throat, so I coughed up something, spit something out. I felt something in my mouth, spit it out, but I didn't see anything. There was nothing there. Finished out Transformed, went to the doctor on Tuesday, got the tumor removed, get the biopsy later that week. The nurse is telling me, "We can't explain it, but we took out the tumor. It's got no cancer and no HPV in it. And that's what's in your body, and there's no way to get rid of that." And I explained it to him that I was prayed over, and it's the power of God. And the surgeon, great guy, he had to come to accept that it was a miracle. So, I mean, he literally saved my life. And today, to this day, it still seems surreal, like why? Because I always thought growing up, or as a young Christian, seeing people get healed, seeing people get this and that, thinking, "Oh, that's all for them. They must be better Christians than I am, because I've never experienced anything like that, like blessings like that." Well, it happened to me, and then I realized that those times that what I wanted was what I wanted, not what God wanted for me. And then you start to realize and pray, God, what's your desire for me? What's your dream for me? Because I want to follow that, because it always ends up in a good place. All the things that I want, that's the problem, is when I pray for me, not for what you want for me. And when I switched over to doing that and to really caring about praying for people, because I would always tell people, yeah, I'm going to pray for you, brother, and walk off. I make it intentional that I just sit there and I pray with them right then and there, because I don't want to go off and possibly miss being a part of somebody's miracle because I did what the Lord wanted me to. You know, if I walked away and didn't do anything, then I can't share in that person's joy of them being blessed.